Hey guys, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Miyagi Mornings. I've been getting a ton of questions, both for Miyagi Mornings and just for the podcast in general, about cryptocurrency and a ton of questions about wallets. A lot of the questions are things I feel like I've answered, but maybe it wasn't all put together in one place. I'm going to try to do that today. I think there's a lot of confusion about crypto wallets, and I think it all starts out with the belief that the wallet holds the crypto. And that makes sense because if we have a wallet that we can conventionally think of like a billfold, well, you put your money in it. So you say you have a wallet and you have money in your wallet. Crypto doesn't exactly work that way. It's really not what's going on. Before I proceed, I want to let you know there's some resources in the video notes down there. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can look up the individual video and find these resources. And that's so that I can do this in 15 minutes or less, because this is a deep subject. And I'm not going to give every little thing and how to do every little thing. I just want people to come away from this and go, okay, I get it. And if they don't get it, they can listen again, and then they'll get it. So the first resource is a thing called Dash School. Dash is a type of cryptocurrency. They have a 6-video playlist. The first 3 videos in it are basically how crypto works. Nothing to do with Dash. And then the next 3 are specifically how Dash addresses that. It's pretty old, but it works. And it is the best on-ramp to going, oh, that's how all this works. If you struggle with any part of how can this possibly be a thing, that is the resource that you need to use. The next is, since I'm going to talk about wallets today, I'm going to kind of gloss over the difference between a lite wallet and a full node wallet. And since I'm going to do that, I have a video previously where I explain that in detail. So if you're not sure how that works, you can go watch that video and append it to this. And after this video and those other 2 videos, you should be in great shape. And should you decide you want to go into cold storage, which I'm going to explain today, the basics of what that means, using what's known as a hardware wallet, there's a link where you can see various hardware wallets and make a choice based on what you want. So let's start out with the very basics behind a transaction and how crypto works. Because you can't understand wallets if you don't understand this. All crypto is made up of basically what we call a public address, a public key, and a private key. With that information, you don't need a wallet, right? In general, you don't need a wallet. You'll have to pick a wallet to do this with, but to move, control, and to steal cryptocurrency. If you have those 3 pieces of information, honestly, all you need is a public key, a private key, and you need to know what crypto you're dealing with. So if you have a public key and a private key and you think it's Bitcoin Cash, and you're trying to steal somebody's Bitcoin Cash, and you're out there trying to do that, and it ends up being like some crypto on a totally different protocol, like, I don't know, Lisk or something, it ain't going to work. Now, a lot of people could figure out, or at least narrow it down based on the way those are done. It's in this family or whatever, but that's the data that's necessary. So when I send you a transaction, let's say in Bitcoin, what happens is you give me an address, and that address is related to a public key, keys unlock things, and a private key. And only you really know those 2 things, but a public key can be derived. It's not a straightforward process. It takes a little bit of sophistication, but the average person sophisticated enough to steal cryptocurrency can certainly look at an address and figure out a public key to go with it. And people that say it can't be done, there's a reason they call it a public key, okay? And then there's a private key. That's something that no one should ever know but you, and maybe the person that's going to inherit what you have should know at least where to find it if you die. And with those things locked together, right, those things can unlock and move this data. Because all this is numbers. It's code. So your wallet doesn't actually hold, I don't care what kind of wallet it is, it doesn't actually hold jack diddly crap. It is a means by which you access that information without having to type in strings that are this long to make something happen, without having to be like programmer lite to move money around the blockchain. It's an interface. For those familiar with computer terms, it's a GUI, graphic user interface. It's some way that you can use cryptocurrency in a way that's very straightforward to the average person. So the wallet itself controls the information that moves things around and says, in the blockchain, this new thing is about to happen. I'm sending money to Bill, and this cryptocurrency now is under Bill's control. But it doesn't know who Bill is. Now, maybe you can figure out who Bill is with that data. But what it's really saying is this address with these keys now controls this block of currency, and here's how to access it. That's all a wallet really is. A way to access the information that's already there. If you've ever heard about lost Bitcoins, they're there. They're not gone. We can even see them. We can look at them and go, that thing has not moved since 2012. It's probably lost. It's there, but no one has the keys. So whoever had the keys lost them or lost the device that contained them. If anybody can ever crack it, they could recover them. If you ever find that information, public and private key, you can access that information. All a wallet does is hold that in a way that makes it easy to understand. So let's talk about some wallets in general and what they actually mean and what they actually are. Let's start off with a paper wallet. This is considered outdated, archaic, and not secure. It's actually pretty secure. It is basically that you set up a wallet with an address, and then you have on a piece of paper public key, the private key, and the address. And then you can receive deposits to it. And if it gets put in a shirt pocket and washed, it's gone. If you make copies of it, a copy falls in the wrong hands, and somebody can take over and control that crypto. So there are some security risks to it. But if somebody were to create a paper wallet, deposit cryptocurrency into it, laminate more than one copy, and lock them in separate places, that would be cold storage that we'll get to at the end, and it would be pretty damn secure. Now, there's some flaws in this. There's not a lot of uniformity in different paper wallet generators. Generally, you set up a paper wallet, and that means all the currencies at one address. And what that means is that if I have that address, I can see all the deposits, all the transactions, and the total balance on it. So more sophisticated wallets, you have multi-address wallets, not multi-currency, but multi-addresses for the same currency, etc. Makes things a little harder to figure out, especially when we're not using a privacy coin. But all in, unless somebody gets their hands on that piece of paper, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to hack that or get access to it. And unless you don't store it right, it's probably not going to go away. And you'll see pictures online of destroyed and, got wet and smeared and whatever. Please understand that most of those wallets were back when, Bitcoin was like worth $1 and people didn't take it seriously yet. I wouldn't use a paper wallet, but it isn't as bad as it's made out to be. It's just a record of the important information to be able to access it. So then there are what are called dedicated currency wallets. These are all non-custodial, meaning you control it. You control the keys. You hold the keys. And there's two different kinds. There's a lite and a full. I'm not going to go into that today because I have another video that covers it completely. But this would be where, you want Bitcoin Cash. So you go to the Bitcoin Cash website and you download the Bitcoin Cash wallet for Bitcoin Cash. And whether it's a full node, that simply means that you are participating on the whole blockchain, or a lite node, which means you're just basically using the blockchain to know what you have going on and send and receive money. You want more, again, go watch the other video. That just means that you got your wallet from the people that made the currency. And that's a pretty good practice, especially if you don't hold a lot of different cryptocurrencies. It kind of makes sense because it's the dedicated wallet for the product. That's all that is. And it's a software wallet, meaning it lives on your computer or it lives on a mobile device or something like that. And that means the one weakness to it, it is connected to the web. But I have never heard yet of anybody successfully hacking a good, well done, especially, been out a while, proven software wallet, being able to get in. And it would be difficult because everybody is maintaining their own private and public keys. There's no centralized database to hack into. The person that made the wallet, whether it's a multi-currency wallet that we'll get to next or a dedicated wallet, couldn't tell you your keys if they wanted to. And if you gave them permission, you'd have to actually give them visibility. You'd have to take a screenshot, send it to them, right? So different wallets work different ways. So I don't want to get how you see and reveal your public and private keys for your currency. I just want you to understand that it's pretty damn secure even in that environment. It is connected to the internet. Maybe, right? But most of the time, people that run software wallets have their computer connected to the internet. If you run a full node wallet, that means you're participating in the blockchain. Even if you're not mining, it means you have the entire blockchain downloaded to your device. It's cumbersome, but if you have the computing power for it, you're helping out. Generally, people who are concerned for the project, they want to help, run full node wallets. It is the most secure. Then there are the lite wallets. and they're a lot like the software wallets we're about to cover. And generally, those have a seed phrase, right? And full node wallets a lot of times don't. Some do, some don't, but many of them don't. You have to rely totally on your public and private key, right? What's a seed phrase? A seed phrase is a list of characters or a list of words that are like a password that allow you, if you had a wallet over here and you installed a new wallet on this computer over here, if you have that seed phrase, you put it in, boom, that wallet becomes this wallet. They're the same, and they sync. And that's generally, again, in the world of light wallets. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. Just know that you could have 100 copies of the same wallet, 1,000, 10,000, theoretically no limit, because all it is data that accesses information that's actually somewhere else. No cryptocurrency can ever actually be possessed by a person. You control it, you don't possess it, because anybody with the same information can move it around. Got it? So all the wallet is a storage of the access information. It doesn't actually hold anything. That brings us to multi-currency software wallets. All of these wallets, to my knowledge, and I'm not an expert, are light wallets, meaning they're not downloading blockchains. I can't even begin to imagine running a multi-currency wallet where all the currencies are full. Though I know there is one wallet, for instance, where you can run full node wallets inside the multi-currency wallets, but you're still running a full node outside of it, right? So just think of it as, just put that aside. That's advanced strategies. I just don't want any, well, actually, you're wrong. I just cut that off. And so, like, this is like Jax. This is like Exodus. This is like Coinami. And they'll have a list of the crypto assets that they're capable of doing. And they're non-custodial. So they work the same way that the light version of, let's say, the Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin wallet work. You don't run a full blockchain. It relies on nodes on the network that it accesses, but you hold your public key, your private key, and your public address inside that wallet. That's what you actually are maintaining a record of. And these go into various different options. You have things that are just straight up wallets. They're designed to be wallets. You have some that allow for proof of stake. Like Exodus, there's certain currencies like AllGo and Cardano and some others that you can earn some interest on. I'm not sure exactly how Exodus manages that, but here's my guess. I hold AllGo in a Exodus wallet, and I earn rewards. There's a little bit of AllGo you have to pay to unlock your rewards if you're doing that versus holding in the dedicated AllGo wallet. And what I assume, I could be wrong, but what I assume Exodus is doing is basically pooling all the rewards and earning their own rewards against the pool until you pull yours to the side. I don't think there's a lot of risk there because, if you're earning one AllGo a day, that's $1.30 right now, and that would be a lot stake to earn that much. So there's not a lot of risk with that being in that pool. And then when you claim it, it goes into your own private key and it starts to earn its own rewards at like compounding interest. So that's how that works. In general, most multi-currency wallets, you're not worried about that. Most of the time when you do proof of stake, you want to go to the dedicated wallet like ARK. I hold my ARK in my ARK wallet type thing. But those are just for convenience. Now I have one place that holds my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, my Litecoin, my ARK, my whatever else. What you'll find is almost no light wallet's going to hold all the currencies you might be interested in. Or I'm sorry, no multi-currency wallet's going to hold all the currencies you might be interested in. Just like no exchange probably is going to have all the currencies you might be interested in at some point. So you pick the one that works the best for you. The three I just mentioned, I like. They have a proven track record. I've never heard of anybody like hacking their databases or something like that. Again, Jax Liberty, Coinami, and Exodus. Those are three that you can look at. Some currencies do not go in any multi-currency wallet for right now. One would be Pirate Chain. There's so much encryption there. No one's done it yet. I think whichever wallet does it, it's going to be a good move for them, and it's going to be a good move for Pirate as well. So that's one we won't get deeply into today. A custodial wallet. I hate these. These are where you don't control your public and private key. Somebody else does. They're in custodianship over it for you. Coinbase. If you're holding your cryptocurrency on Coinbase, the reason we all hate it is not because we think Coinbase is in league with the NSA. But in the end, they're a company that are in business to stay in business, and they have access to your funds, like a bank does. And if they get a notice from the Department of Making You Sad, the federal government says, Bill has a bunch of cryptocurrency with you and we want it all locked, they're going to do it. And they're going to be able to do it because Bill doesn't control his private and public keys. They're in custodianship. Got it? Okay. So we get out of there. Exchanges. This is why I don't like holding crypto on exchanges. Somebody else has access to your crypto. That's not secure, and it's certainly not private. It's as secure as the company wants it to be. Now, to be fair, Coinbase, Bittrex, Binance, right? These companies have done business as best they can, and I do believe they care about your privacy and your security, or they wouldn't stay in business. I'm a believer in the market. I'm also a believer that if something can go wrong, sooner or later it will. So if I put money on an exchange, or I buy crypto on an exchange, it's there long enough to do whatever it needs to do, and it goes away into one of these other options. That's why we do that, because somebody else has access to it. Next, a hardware wallet. People look at a hardware. This is not a hardware wallet. This is a USB drive, but they might look like this, and they basically are kind of a sophisticated drive that allows you to basically hold cryptocurrencies. And they all have different assets they support. So if you want to hold a particular asset and you're buying, a Ledger Nano or something like that, you need to make sure that it supports that. And then different ones for different costs have different amounts, numbers of wallets, or numbers of currencies they support. So you want to make sure it supports the currency you want to hold, and you want to make sure that it also allows for as many currencies as you want to hold, or you need another one to get there. Some of them, like for instance, I think the Ledger Nano S supports 5. Don't excuse me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to recommend any specific one, because I think you need to know what you're doing enough to pick one out before you start using one. And I'll say the thing about a hardware wallet is, and people ask, why don't I talk about them more? Because I do mostly newbie type videos for crypto. I just try to onboard people and let them learn as they go from there. If you have $500 worth of crypto, spending $200 on a hardware wallet to protect it, I don't think makes a lot of sense. If you have $20,000 worth of crypto, I think it does. This leads us to cold storage. Again, though, if this was a hardware wallet, it does not actually have any cryptocurrency on it. Like when people say, I lost the laptop that has the Bitcoins on it. No, you lost the laptop that has the information on how to access the Bitcoins. That's what a hardware wallet is. A different way of packaging the same information, public key, private key, address, currency type. That's all that it is. The difference is all that data, if it's stored here, and we plug it in, and we access it, we do our thing, we send and receive money, okay? Then when we're done, take it out, lock it away somewhere safe. Guess what? There's no way anybody can access the information that's contained on here. It doesn't mean the cryptocurrency is still not out there in what we call the blockchain universe, but it's now in cold storage because there's no way it can be accessed. When we plug it in, it's hot, we pull it out, it's cold. Conversely, if I had, here's a wallet, right? Small wallet. Since I got my Ridge wallet years ago, I've not carried this wallet, but this is my old wallet I carried for years. Let's say this is now a software wallet on an iPhone or a device of some sort, a laptop computer, something like that. And I only keep it there, or maybe in 2 places where I do the same thing. And now I disconnect it from the internet. It's cold storage. It's cold storage. You need to have it backed up. No matter how you do any of these things, you need backups of backups, because you have a lot of money at stake here. But it's still cold. Doesn't matter. It's a phone, right? I've turned it off. I've disabled the Wi-Fi, etc. And I know, the NSA can find your... No, not when it's completely powered down. Honestly, you could let the battery go dead. Good luck, guys, right? It's not what I would do for cold storage. I'm just trying to make the point. If you had a computer with no Wi-Fi capability at all, 0, and you have it hardline connected with a data cable to your router, and that computer is nothing but like an older computer that you use for your crypto, and whenever you're not using it, you unplug it, it's cold because it's not hot. That's all it means. So I hope this one went 20 minutes. I hope this doesn't create more questions than it answers. And I know it's not going to answer everything, but if you didn't understand it and you listened to it twice, you should come away with a basic understanding of this, and then you should understand the following. It's all that you need. It's all that you need, because the average person is completely fine starting out with a multi-currency software wallet like Jax, Coinami, Exodus, etc., depositing their currency there, backing up their seed phrase in at least 2 different locations. You'll be fine. Millions of people do it every day. We don't have people getting their shit stolen off it. Don't believe the FUD, right? You'll be fine. And as you get down the road and you get to where you've accumulated more wealth and you need something like a hardware wallet, you can learn that as you go. And it's not that hard because, again, it's just data and a way to access things. This is one of the problems with a paper wallet. You don't know if you really got paid and you can't send money with it. You have to then do something to recover it into a storage wallet. This is why it's outdated and archaic, but sometimes there is a thing. There is a thing as security by obscurity. So I'm just going to say it's worth learning a little bit about them because there could come a day where, I don't know, a paper wallet might be like, a Vatican bearer bond was in 1970. Just saying. Take care, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with something non-crypto.